Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. I hope you're having a great week this week. And don't forget, now we have apps for your iPhone and for your Android phone. Just go to the App Store for the iTunes app. You can find Daily Dose Radio there. It's free. Just go download it, and you have our Bible studies right there at your fingertips. And also the Google Play Store, the Android app is available. It's free also. Just download it, and you can join a worldwide audience of folks who are tuning in to Daily Dose Radio every single day. Today we're going to look at verses 9 through 12 in Psalm 83, and we've said that this has been a very interesting psalm because we have the psalmist giving us something that sounds very, very contemporary. Last time we talked about Edom and the Ishmaelites and all these nations that are mentioned here. You can go back in 1 Chronicles, find out about the Hagarites, chapter 5. You can go to Judges chapter 3 and look at how Ammon and Amalek are paired together. Assyria and the children of Lot, Moab, and Ammon are mentioned there. They're all confederate against the Lord. They all hate the Lord. That's the theme here. And then notice how the Selah works. The Selah comes there at the end of verse 8 and breaks, and then you have the very next verse, verse 9, which is our first verse today. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. So the Selah breaks the thought, and then we have the request again. So the psalm begins with the request in verse 1, keep not thou silence, O God. So how is God to address the words and the actions of those that hate him? To do unto them as unto the Midianites. Let me go ahead and read 9 through 12. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kishon, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeb, yea, all their princes as Zebah and Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. We have again, this section, 9 through 12, is very much like 1 through 4, a request that God do something, and it ends with, verse 12, a statement by those that hate him. So 4 is like 12, 12 is like 4, and 9 is like 1. So we have this comparison between the two. But in the midst of that, we have all this historical information. Judges 4 through 8 is mentioned here. The Midianites, we have to ask, when did God do something to the Midianites? Go back to Judges chapter 6 and find the story of Gideon. Gideon fought against the Midianite armies. Sisera, Jabin, the brook of Kishon is Judges chapter 4, when Deborah and her forces faced Jabin and the forces of the nations that came against Israel then. Oreb and Zeb, Zebah and Zalmunna, Judges 7 and also Judges 8. Those men are mentioned. They were princes of Midian. So we go back to the story of Gideon. So Judges chapter 4, Judges chapter 6, 7, and 8 are all mentioned there. God doing a work of delivering his people from the hand of those that hate him and them. And then, of course, we go back to 12. Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. And, of course, he's talking about there not the literal house of God, because there's only one. This is not plural, but he's talking about the houses of those who worship the Lord. So the very property of God's people. Okay, I hope you'll join me again tomorrow on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.